Welcome to White Waltham Airfield near London. This is said to be the largest grass aerodrome in the UK. The expansive field and historic buildings make for a timeless flying experience, as you'll soon discover. And the Piper Cub is the quintessential general aviation aircraft. I always tell my students, flying a Cub is real flying. Pilots have been learning to fly in Cubs at White Waltham since before the Second World War. And that's what we'll be going up in today. This fantastic Cub has been prepared and fueled for our flight. Why don't you hop in? Let's get the engine started. First, I'll turn on the battery. Now, there are only two bits of information you'll need from the instruments during this lesson. Airspeed, or how fast we're going, and altitude, how high we are. Airspeed is displayed on the top left gauge. That's the most important instrument you'll use today, so get familiar with it. In this Cub, the airspeed is shown in miles per hour. Altitude is displayed on the instrument just below the airspeed. It's reading near zero since we're sitting on the ground. Alright, let's start the engine and go flying. Here we go.
Clear prop!
Can you hear me okay? We can communicate over the intercom as long as you have your headphones on. That's better. I've got mine turned up as you're a little quiet. First, let's check the controls and I'll explain their effects. Push the stick left, then right. Good. This will roll the aircraft in the direction you turn. It's simple stuff and will all make sense once you try it out in flight. Next, gently push the stick forward and then gently pull it back. This will pitch the nose of the aircraft down and up. When you want to climb, raise the nose towards the sky by pulling the stick back. When you want to descend, lower the nose by pushing the stick forward. And finally, the rudder pedals. Pressing these moves the rudder to twist or yaw the aircraft left and right. It's the hardest control to understand, but you'll figure it out. To begin with, you'll probably only use the rudder pedals when we're on the ground. Pushing the rudder pedals will also move the tail wheel, and that's how you steer on the ground. Left rudder will turn us left, right rudder will turn us to the right. Since there's no control tower here at White Waltham, we just broadcast our intentions over the traffic frequency. That way any other aircraft nearby will hear us, know where we are, and where we're going. White Waltham Radio, Piper Golf Delta Lima, taxiing from Waltham Flying Club to runway 07. Okay, we're looking good. I'll taxi us up to the runway. We'll perform a normal takeoff and climb to 1,000 feet. I know this is all new to you, so I'll talk you through it. Now let's test the engine by performing a run-up. We always do this to reveal any problems before we leave the ground. I'll hold the brakes to stop us from moving. Gently move the throttle control all the way forward. Good. Now pull the throttle control back out. Good stuff. Now we can taxi onto the runway and line up for takeoff. White Waltham Radio, Piper Golf Delta Lima, lining up runway 07. When you're ready, add little power to start rolling. Use a little right rudder to tuck the nose into the right. Use a little right rudder to tuck the nose into the right. Keep it slow and point the nose straight down the runway. Use the rudder to keep the nose pointed straight down the runway and get ready. Okay, full power. tail will rise very quickly by itself. Start pulling back on the stick at 40 miles per hour. Fantastic, we're flying. Let the aircraft accelerate to 75 miles per hour. Keep full power for the climb, so control the airspeed by pitching up or down. Gently push the stick to pitch the nose down and stop the climb. Fly level at 1,000 feet. Great! Our takeoff and transition to cruise is complete. Well done. In this lesson, you'll learn how to fly straight and level, which sounds easy enough. The secret is configuring the aircraft to fly hands-off at different speeds. I'll teach you how to do that, and by the time we're done, you'll be superb. At least that's the plan. Okay, you have control. Go ahead and push the throttle all the way forward so we speed up. Good. See how the nose wants to rise as the aircraft gains speed. Push forward on the stick to keep the nose down so you maintain 1,000 feet. Here's the secret. You can use trim to relieve that forward stick pressure. Slowly trim the nose down so you can maintain 1,000 feet without having to push the stick. The trim control sets the elevator position of the aircraft to maintain the desired pitch for a particular speed. It takes some tweaking to get the trim just right. Let the airspeed stabilize before you make your final adjustments. You're a little high. Gently push the stick forward to lower the nose and descend to 1,000 feet. Keep trimming until the nose remains stationary relative to the horizon, without any stick pressure. Okay, push the throttle control all the way forward. You need to reach a constant speed to trim. Make progressively smaller adjustments until you've relieved all the pressure. You're still a little high? descend to 1,000 feet. It takes some tweaking to get the trim just right. Let the airspeed stabilize before you make your final adjustments. No, we're still high. Gently push the stick forward to lower the nose and descend to 1,000 feet. Keep trimming until the nose remains stationary relative to the horizon, without any stick pressure. You're a little high. Gently push the stick forward to lower the nose and descend to 1,000 feet. You're still a little high. Descend to 1,000 feet. Make progressively smaller adjustments until you've relieved all the pressure. Good. The aircraft practically flies itself when configured properly. With the aircraft properly trimmed, you can fly at any airspeed completely hands-off. Remember, you trim for specific airspeeds. If you slow down or speed up, you'll need to retrim. Try slowing down now. Pull the throttle control back to maintain 2100 RPM. Good. See how the nose wants to drop as the aircraft slows down. Use the stick to hold the nose up, then trim to relieve the pressure. Keep adjusting the trim until the aircraft flies level at 1,000 feet at 90 miles per hour. Set the throttle to maintain 2100 RPM. You need to reach a constant speed to trim. No, we're still high. Gently push the stick forward to lower the nose and descend to 1,000 feet. Good. Keep trimming up until the airspeed settles and the nose stays where you want it. You're a little high. Gently push the stick forward to lower the nose and descend to 1,000 feet. Make small adjustments by just tapping the trim. Then wait to see what happens. You're still a little high. Descend to 1,000 feet. Fine-tune the trim a little bit at a time. Good. Keep trimming up until the airspeed settles and the nose stays where you want it. We're getting too far to the left. Let's try that again. Whoa, where are you going? Maybe we should try this again later. In this lesson, you'll learn how to fly straight and level, which sounds easy enough. The secret is configuring the aircraft to fly hands-off at different speeds. I'll teach you how to do that, and by the time we're done, you'll be superb. At least that's the plan. Okay, you have control. Go ahead and push the throttle all the way forward so we speed up. Good. See how the nose wants to rise as the aircraft gains speed. Push forward on the stick to keep the nose down so you maintain 1,000 feet. Here's the secret. You can use trim to relieve that forward stick pressure. Slowly trim the nose down so you can maintain 1,000 feet without having to push the stick. The trim control sets the elevator position of the aircraft to maintain the desired pitch for a particular speed. You're a little high. Gently push the stick forward to lower the nose and descend to 1,000 feet. It takes some tweaking to get the trim just right. Let the airspeed stabilize before you make your final adjustments. You're still a little high? Descend to 1,000 feet. Good. The aircraft practically flies itself when configured properly. With the aircraft properly trimmed, you can fly at any airspeed completely hands-off. Remember, you trim for specific airspeeds. If you slow down or speed up, you'll need to retrim. Try slowing down now. Pull the throttle control back to maintain 2100 RPM. Good. See how the nose wants to drop as the aircraft slows down. Use the stick to hold the nose up, then trim to relieve the pressure. Keep adjusting the trim until the aircraft flies level at 1,000 feet and 90 miles per hour. You're a little low. Gently pull the stick back to raise the nose and climb to 1,000 feet. Good. Keep trimming up until the airspeed settles and the nose stays where you want it. Set the throttle to maintain 2100 RPM. You need to reach a constant speed to trim. Make small adjustments by just tapping the trim. Then wait to see what happens. Fine-tune the trim a little bit at a time. We're still a little low. Climb to 1,000 feet. Good. Keep trimming up until the airspeed settles and the nose stays where you want it. Make small adjustments by just tapping the trim. Then wait to see what happens. Fine-tune the trim a little bit at a time. Good. Keep trimming up until the airspeed settles and the nose stays where you want it. Make small adjustments by just tapping the trim. Then wait to see what happens. No, we're still low. Gently pull the stick back to raise the nose and climb to 1,000 feet. Set the power to 2100 RPM. Fine-tune the trim a little bit at a time. You're a little low. Gently pull the stick back to raise the nose and climb to 1,000 feet. We're getting too far to the left. Let's try that again. Whoa, where are you going? Maybe we should try this again later.